thank you very much for attending. Ще го кажа и на български, защото повечето сме българи, макар и не всички. Скъпи приятели, благодаря много, че сме заедно тази вечер. And special thanks, of course, to Her Excellency Natalia Anoshyna, who is the acting ambassador of Ukraine in the Kingdom of Belgium. And we have with us Tetiana Stanieva, who will present this movie and will be open for a discussion with us all on the situation in Ukraine and the situation facing Ukrainian Bulgarians, whom she also represents among us, and Silvia Atipova, without whom and the whole organization of the Bulgaria Bruxelles, this organization and this event surely wouldn't be possible. They are the real organizers of what is happening. I will only say that I'm moved really and thrilled to have this film in the European Parliament and very happy to have our Bulgarian Ukrainians friend visiting us here, although under these most tragic circumstances. And we just had a chat that we are looking forward to meet each other in Ukraine, in the Bulgarian villages in Ukraine, hopefully very soon and in already peaceful times. Madam Anoshyna, please.
Thank you so much. I would like to start with words Slava Ukraini.
Героям слава.
2 weeks ago, hearts of all Ukrainians were broken with one video when Russians executed Ukrainian soldier, Ukrainian defender, just for 2 words, or words that means a lot for Ukrainians that are inside of our hearts. These 2 words, Slava Ukraini. We immediately decided to make video with the same words. The worst thing was that this video with the execution of Ukrainian defender posted by Russians in internet, and all Ukrainians, exactly mother and son of this defender, watched this video. We don't need even to do something. It's enough for Ukrainians just to speak Ukrainian language and just to say 2 words very important for Ukrainians. And that's enough to be killed. We decided to give our reply, as I said, at the embassy. We made our own video. I invited the ambassador of Poland and Polish diplomats to be with us. And we said all together the same words, Slava Ukraini. And we gave the reply, glory to the hero and glory to the heroes. We wanted to show that we are unbreakable nation, that we are nation of heroes. Russians can kill us, but they will never destroy our spirit, Ukrainian spirit. Spirit of the defenders that protect the territory of our own country, that protect independence and sovereignty of the country. We will never give up. We will win this war, and we will celebrate our victory very soon. Slava Ukraini, glory to Ukraine, Героям слава, glory to the heroes.
Слава Україні!
Thank you very much. And Tetiana,
Yes.
what do you say?
Maybe Sylvia first, then me?
Maybe
Yeah.
first.
I'm also very moved to be here because the journey to get Tetiana was long, to get Tetiana to Brussels, and actually with her was supposed to be Alexander Baron, who unfortunately is at the age for conscription, and he was not allowed to leave Ukraine. And for a European who has been free to move around Europe for 15 years already, that was a wake-up call, because how easy it is to lose our freedom, and how ephemeral it is. Basically just a crazy person somewhere decides that he needs to take away your rights, and it happens in an instance. So I'm happy to have Tetiana and Jan behind the camera here, and of course Dana with us, but I do miss Alexander, who couldn't come, and I hope soon we'll have all our friends from Ukraine here, free to roam Europe, as is their right. Thank you.
Thank you, Sylvia. And now Tetiana, please.
Good afternoon. My name is Tetiana Stanieva and I am from Ukraine. And I think today this is enough to understand who I am and how I feel at the moment. I know you are tired of our war and these Ukrainians here, yeah? And, but I want you to know that you are tired only of listening to us and watching the news and films about war. We feel much more tired because we live in this for more than a year. War is not finished, but we are. We are running out of people. Please don't hide your eyes and don't hide your ears from us. First of all, I want to thank Mr. Radan Kanev for the invitation, and Silvia Atipova and Ivailo Toshev and all the Bulgaria party for the organization of this event and for making it real. It was a lot of circumstances to not happen, but finally we are here. We are grateful for the significant support we feel here. It gives us wings. I and in my person, all the Ukrainian Bulgarians and all Ukraine, thank you for your clear, strong and consistent position about the war. Thank you for your empathy and the events, that the events in Ukraine hurt you as much as they hurt us. You have done everything possible to make the truth come out in the heart and the brain of Europe here. I know, I believe, and I hope with all my mind that one day the victory of Ukraine will be the reward of your efforts and help to Ukraine. And we will all know that you, our Bulgarian brothers, worked hard to legitimize our family ties and help us to become legally part of the European family. No doubt for me that there are people that know the truth and don't need any evidence about the Russian Federation's crimes in Ukraine, but a documentary is the best way to dive deeply into the topic from the inside. Today, you will see the short documentary OWN about the occupation of Kiev region, Bucha, Borodyanka, Irpin, and some parts of Kiev. It was shot after the deoccupation based on fresh stories and memories of people there Actually, these stories are testimonies for the Hague Court. Yesterday, I walked around in Brussels and couldn't believe that there is some place on the planet where life continues. Your country is a man-made miracle. All this beauty around shows the genius of creators. Your beautiful city made me cry. A lot of Ukrainian cities before the invasion were also beautiful and full of tourists, such as Irpin, Borodyanka, Bucha, Kiev. I can't believe that a person has the will to destroy but not to create. It's unnatural for a human being. The only explanation for what is going on and what Russia does with Ukrainians and Ukrainian cities is that they are not human beings. I was in Kiev when the war started, and I was in Kiev region after its deoccupation. Unfortunately, any images or videos or films can show the amount and scale of destructions. This film will help you to imagine at least something. In the Kiev region, just imagine, about 27,000 buildings were destroyed. 10,000 have already been renewed thanks to international funds. 17,000 objects are on the list, and more than 70,000 of people and families are without houses and businesses. And we are talking about buildings only. I am afraid to think about number of dead people. Because right now, our government cannot count all victims of this war. We still don't know how many Ukrainians died in this war. I think the number will shock us. So let's watch the film, and we will continue talking after the film with questions. It is so short, it's only 28 minutes. Try to imagine what's happened in Ukraine to be easy to talk after and to discuss. Thank you, and enjoy. Thousands and thousands of stories like this in the film. So I want to invite you to honor the memory of innocent victims of the war with the moment of silence, please. Thank you. Since February 24, the heartbeat of my country stopped. As Russia started dirty and unwarranted aggression. I don't know if mankind has ever seen a more treacherous war than this one. But from that day, I don't live. The people of my country don't live either. Someone is dead, literally. And someone is like me, as if I breathe, as if I move, but I do not feel the real life. Our economy, our normal rhythm of life have stopped. And people have lost their jobs, homes, and worse, their beloved ones. Millions have become refugees or internally displaced people. And using this possibility, I want to thank all European countries for supporting Ukraine and helping our refugees. Yesterday, we saw a lot of Ukrainian flags in Brussels, and it makes our hearts melt. We have noticed that in front of the Euro Parliament building, there is an Ukrainian flag, and it is on the first place. So thank you. I will not repeat the news, and I don't want to repeat all that you saw. I just want to talk about serious things. Putin was doing his next crime and again while we were watching the film, trying to annex our bordering region, terrorizing and destroying my country. And right now there is a siren in Ukraine, so every minute something happens in Ukraine. They kill my people. My Facebook feed is like necrology. You know, my fitness club in Kiev was destroyed by the bomb on September. I could be there. You see, I'm fortunate to be alive, but I know that death is working around and nobody knows who will be the next. Do you know what we are talking about on the kitchen with my friends? We're talking about death, about funeral, about the future of our kids, about testament. And even what clothes and lingerie to wear today in case a bomb falls down today. We have to be ready and look beautiful as to not shame relatives on the news in case they will find our bodies. We'd get used to that. We are not afraid anymore. And as you see, we're joking about this. And also we have no plans for the future, and we don't even know if we have this future. There are no concerts, no film screenings or other massive entertainments, and no cultural development. We all exist hoping that there is some sense in living, hoping Ukraine will win soon and the war will finish. But it will not come to the end till Russia exists and its lies are spoiling the brain of people. Even more, I think if the information war is lost, tanks enter the battle. We continue losing the informational war because Russia TV is still available, and political parties who are actually Russian agents still has power in the world's government. Since 24 February, as Ukrainian Bulgarian, I became a correspondent on Bulgarian Central Television, BTV, for telling the truth. So my personal war for the brains of people in Bulgaria started. As all Bulgarian folk in Ukraine, I love Ukraine and I love Bulgaria. So I care about the situation in Bulgaria so much. And Ukrainian Bulgarians, like all other ethnic communities and national minorities, will always have two roots and one home. And this home for us is Ukraine. I was born in Ukrainian part in Bessarabia. Bessarabia is the sunny southern part of Ukraine within the Odessa region. It can really become a model of friendly coexistence and mutual respect for each other. It is a multinational and multicultural region, the territory of freedom and harmony. Russian propaganda constantly uses a fake about the oppression of national minorities of Ukraine, by Ukraine. The truth is that the language of interethnic communication of all national minorities in Bessarabia was Russian, and still Russian. This has happened historically as a result of being a part of Soviet Union. On the one hand, and the long, violent, often bloody Russification of this region particularly, and Ukraine in the whole on the other hand. My school class was the first to study Ukrainian there in my village in Odessa region, and one of the first to study my native Bulgarian at a Ukrainian school. That is the revival of Bulgarians, Gagauzians, Moldovans, Romanians, and Albanians of my region, and their self-awareness and self-identification began only in 90s when Ukraine became independent. But Russia propaganda has had a considerable impact in that region since then. And in 2014 and 2015, there was a real threat of the creation of the so-called Bessarabian People's Republic, like the similar quasi-states of Donetsk Republic and Lugansk People's Republic on the east of Ukraine. But thanks to God and the security service of Ukraine, this did not happen. We began creating cultural products for telling the truth and debunk myths of counter-Russian propaganda. One of the successful tools are documentaries. That's why I have created a documentary about my native village, Krynichne, which is called The Place of Power, and it was screened on Sunday on Bulgarian embassy in Brussels. The documentary clearly shows the truth about Soviet Union crimes. You know, it was so strange for me that I should answer journalists' question about so simple things and that I should prove that black is black and white is white. But I did it a lot. And I think the best provement of how Bulgarian in Ukraine feels is that 17 dead Bulgarian heroes for the free Ukraine, and this is the best evidence. And this is the best evidence that all this lie is 100% lie. But so many times you can hear the lie in Bulgarian media and in the parliament from representative of so-called Возрождение party and their leader Kopeikin, all these myths. After my review of Kopeikin on BTV studio, when I said that I want to spit on his face for his lies and insults towards us, BTV stopped cooperation with me. In fact. And I faced those lies again and again. So I initiated making an official letter from Ukrainians, Bulgarians, to the Bulgarian parliament, to the Bulgarian president, and to the ministry council to fix the truth in an official way and to forbid some political parties to manipulate us by talking from our side. In the letter, we asked Bulgaria to choose the side, to not betray us, their real brothers, to help Ukraine to win, and to give weapons to Ukraine. And in that way, help us to save our lives and our homes. We gathered more than 800 votes and voices of Ukrainian Bulgarian who approved the letter with their names. So, the deputy of the Democratic Bulgaria Party, Krimena Kuneva, read the letter in the parliament, after which Kopeikin discredited it, telling that all these 800 people are governmental workers, so Ukraine pushed them to sign the letter, which you know that this is 100% lie. This is surely not true, but nobody gave us the right to answer this offensive lie. Only some media asked me about comments, and that's it. And the government, the 84 government of Bulgaria, voted for the weapon on that day. But after this, in a few days, the biggest liar, the servant of Russian propaganda, the deputy who was forbidden to enter Ukraine for 10 years, became the head of the Commission of Bulgarians Abroad. Huge hypocrisy, huh? If Bulgaria and Europe are not caring about Ukraine, please take care of yourself. Europe, by making lies spread easily on TV and not punishing such kinds of politicians, you help propaganda to win people's mind. And tomorrow, these people will vote toward European values and support dictators. The increase of person of this party Возрождение and the decrease of democratic Bulgaria is a warning signal, a big alarm that democratic European values are in danger. In European country, I want you to underline this. And today, the speech of the President of Bulgaria, Rumen Radev, clearly underlined what political parties should be supported in the Bulgarian election on 2nd of April. Unfortunately, mania can't be stopped with talks, as the Mr. President of Bulgaria think. If a killer or terrorist wants to kill you and make genocide on your land, there is no way except defending ourselves. I want him to just to imagine, for example, Mr. Erdogan wanting to take Turkish-speaking towns and villages of Bulgaria under the reason of defending them and kill all the people there. It is so interesting to me how he will stop the war with no weapons. How he will make peace with talkings. I want him to imagine, for example, Russians coming to Sofia, to his house, raping his wife, killing his kids, stealing his gold and everything he has, and kicking him out of the house and stealing his garden. And I want to see him, how Mr. President will stop him with words and how he will make a peace agreement after this. The President of Bulgaria took off the mask today, and now we all know exactly whose servant he is. Please, do something. First of all, I want to ask all Bulgarians go to elections. Vote for the political parties that support the truth and Ukraine. Let's find some mechanism for how to let the truth win in the informational war and how to punish the lie. The truth is the best ballot. I always say that our culture is our weapon, and I think that this is really like this. Cultural products like movies, books, and festivals are weapons of soft influence and mild Ukrainization, but they are also powerful tools for mass destruction. Russian propaganda knows it very well and used this weapon for decades, poisoning the world with Russian words and values. My Bessarabia was not an exception. My father is a typical Bessarabian man that was poisoned by Russian culture, and after the 24th of February was in a big hangover, crying and telling me, he was sitting on the table with my friends and he was crying and telling me and my friends, I couldn't imagine Russia will commit to us like this. It was very hard acknowledge for him. The representative offices of the Russian state agency Россотрудничество called the Cultural and Information Center Русский дом, Russian House, as one of the ideological tools of Putin's Russia for extending political influence through the prism of cultural historical aspects, both on the Russian diaspora and on the local population in the other countries, and through him for undermining and interfering with democratic institutions there in order to force them to accept the aggressive course of the Putin regime. Unfortunately, some people associated the need to protect Russian culture with the ruling regime in Russia. Moreover, most of them, of their employees work in close cooperation with the Kremlin intelligence agencies. I believe that it is necessary for European institutions or the EU member state individually to do everything possible to stop such activity from dividing our European society in this hybrid war. As far as I know, a letter requesting the European Commission, Council and EAS service to suspend the activities of the Russian houses has already been sent by the members of the European Parliament last month. So please do your best to make this happen, please. That's why we made also one project that we call it OKO International Ethnographic Film Festival for working in this cultural diplomacy. And our film festival is a celebration of ethnographic diversity where you can see, hear and feel the heartbeat of small and large nations through films. I always say that if there were more such festivals and films, there would be no wars in the world. With the film festival, we aim to promote tolerance and teach people to value their own and respect others' cultures. It creates an intercultural dialogue that lays the foundation for the further cooperation between countries. The cultural diversity of Ukraine is its wealth, which we can be proud of. This year, because of the war in Ukraine, we are holding the 4th edition of our film festival in Bulgaria, in Sofia, on September. One day, I hope to invite you all to my Bessarabia, to Ukraine, to Odessa region, to Belgrade, to celebrate life and to celebrate film festival. And to develop cultural diplomacy, we made OKO Travels with the program Look at Ukraine with Other Eyes. The program consists of films about Ukraine, discussion panels, as it is like this here in the parliament. This allows people to get involved in the film topic and learn more about the history and culture of Ukraine. With a special program, we were in Bulgaria on May and on November. And we screened the films in Poland, we visited Finland, and now we are here. But not thanks to Ukrainian fans. All these screenings were because of our partnership and because of our friends that support us. And now in Brussels, it's happened also because of our Bulgarian friends. You know, there is no funding for the cultural sphere in Ukraine, and at the moment, we are asking you for help to save our culture and identity. Help us to document the war and show it to the world. Help the truth and Ukraine to win in this way also. So, to make a conclusion, the main problem in Ukraine is the war now. The second one is the lack of funding for culture. All the colleagues understand that even after the victory, it will be very difficult to continue working in this field. First, I called on all of you, Europe, the whole world, don't be silent about the pain of Ukraine, because Ukraine stands for protection of European values and civilization, the protection of democracy and culture, justice and truth. Today, Russia is trying to destroy exactly that, and not only in Ukraine. Second, I call for partnership. Help Ukraine to be heard through culture and cultural products. Strengthen its voice and win in the struggle for its existence and for the existence of the world. In a few days, I will return to Ukraine, continuing surviving. And if I die tomorrow, I want you to fulfill my last wish. Please help Ukraine to win. Help Ukraine to survive. I want to live so much, believe me, I have a lot of plans, but I don't want to live without my Ukraine. without my home. Maybe it's hard for you to imagine how it's hard to lose your home and to lose your beloved ones every day. I am not trying you to imagine. I just want you to be with us and to help us. And I want to ask you to help me with advice, maybe, how to forgive, because I don't have this power anymore. I don't know how to live with these whole feelings. Maybe you have this decision. Maybe you have some advices how to help us to survive and with all these psychological problems that we have. Peace is not coming by doing anything. We should destroy the terrorists who broke the peace in Europe. We should do it together. Otherwise, I don't want to imagine what will happen. I refuse to live in such kind of world that peace is so easy to be broken. Thank you for attention, and let's continue discussion if you have some questions. I'm serious, I need this advice. Please give us, let's talk about this. Maybe you have some decisions that we don't see it. We come to you for this. You can put your microphone if you have some comments or, yeah.
First of all, I'd like to thank you very much for what you are doing and how you express your vision, what is going on, and your wishes. My name is Myroslav Lutsyk. I'm MP from Lithuania. And maybe you know not, we here in the European Parliament we have a lot of friends. You brave nation united us here in the Parliament from different political groups, from different countries. And of course, it's very difficult to all of us to understand really what you are feeling. Many of us visit Ukraine after the beginning of this second wave of war, visit the Bucha, Irpin, and other places, and trying to establish the strong unity between the parliamentarians. A lot of resolutions have been adopted in the European Parliament trying to support the Ukraine, and we're trying to be more engaged as much as possible to support the Ukraine and be acting not only in the European Parliament, but trying to found our friends in different national parliaments. We created the so-called United for Ukraine network, and we organized different events. But personally, I hope that I can imagine, but it's difficult for me to manage, but feeling every family, seeing the losses and destroyed houses, as you mentioned, in Ukraine. Anyway, I think we are ready. Continue our efforts to support the Ukraine, and you can be sure that you have the strong group of friends here in European Parliament. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We feel it, but this is not enough, as you see, because second year we are still there. We are still in this, and all world, even if all Europe is united, but this is not enough to win one monarch. It's so strange situation. If it's not working, let's do something else. Yeah, your hands. Yeah, your question. I saw the hand. No? Who were in Ukraine before 24th of February? Yeah, a lot of you. So you remember how Kiev was beautiful, and maybe you visited Irpin, Bucha. Yeah, it's hard to imagine because really these days I walk around Brussels, and we were even in Leuven, and I was shocked by this beauty. And you know, I saw this beauty, and immediately these all images from Irpin, Bucha, Borodyanka, and what I saw by my eyes, it's immediately come out, and it's hard to. It's a big contrast of life. Yeah. You just put your microphone on.
I want to thank you for the movie and for the effort to come here and to present what you did for your country, and I especially thank you as a Bulgarian, for organizing Ukrainian people for this declaration that was read in front of Bulgarian Parliament. Because there were people in that parliament that needed to be shamed for betraying their roots, and I'm thinking of the same as Russian mostly, but not only. And we didn't lose the war of information in Bulgaria. It's just that the other ones, those that are on the side of evil in this war, are, as unfortunately in history often, the side of evil is
More aggressive.
more vocal. And the more vocal they are. And free people, once again, like in 1939, we should learn to be more vocal than the aggressor, more vocal than evil. To make our voice be more important for the ears of those that are lost in transmission. And unfortunately, as many Ukrainians discovered, until war comes to your door, you refuse to believe that such a thing may exist now, in the time of peace, that was supposed to be in the 21st century. That's it. I'm convinced that Ukraine will win, and I believe Ukraine will win because we cannot imagine the world and Europe with Ukraine, if not for other things. That's what I want to say. Thank you. And thank you.
Thank you. But there is no way how to control the lie in social media and in media in Bulgaria, because I saw it again and again, and I think it's became more and more. And yeah, you are right that the lie is more aggressive and more vocal, but people believe in it. Usual people in Bulgaria.
I don't believe it. I have 10% or mostly that believe it. The others are scared. Like, unfortunately, many other people in Europe are scared. Just the percentage of scared, uneducated people in Bulgaria is bigger than in many other places. We didn't make enough to prepare people not to be scared. Unfortunately, we didn't do enough. I feel guilty myself. I'm among those that tried. And we are not enough to try, and we didn't try long enough. We didn't do the job the Polish did, definitely. We didn't do the job the Baltic states did. We were slow, and that's no. Bulgarians don't believe, they're scared. Most of them, they're scared.
Of what?
Of the Russians.
So that's why they don't tell the truth?
Fear makes people, unfortunately, close their ears to the truth. And that's all as the world is. And it's like in the 1930s with the French that were next to Nazi Germany. Didn't they know? Did they believe Hitler's propaganda? No. We believe that peace will be forever. We don't believe Hitler will aggressive. It doesn't concern us. It's the same.
That's what I see also.
Yes.
Yeah, right now. Yeah.
First of all, Tanya, thank you very much for the invitation. It's very moving, and I have no words to say how sad should we be and how shameful actually for that our president is not on the side of Ukraine and not on the side of the victims of this terrible war. And what is very important in this particular moment is to stay united. The slogan "United will win, divided will fail" is very, very true now. We should actually overcome our political divisions and to stay united in front of the evil. If we let the propaganda, the fatigue from the world, the scare of the people because of the nuclear weapons of Russia, because of the energy, or because of inflation, because of any other trivial things which are our daily life, then this will fail not only Ukraine, but after Ukraine, many other countries. And I don't like to imagine a world dominated by the so-called Russian mir, really Ruski mir. On the letter, many colleagues signed this letter to Borrell and to Jean-Michel, put not only Russo, but also Ruski Dom on the list, and to close this propaganda instrument of the regime in our EU countries, because this is nothing to do with Tchaikovsky, nothing to do with
Yes, absolutely.
Pushkin,
Dostoevsky and so on.
with Ilfin Petrov. This is poor propaganda of the regime. And there, in my country, unfortunately, historically, we have this many other such instrument of influence. There are many entities like Kamchia and others which are used for propaganda. What we need to do and to work with Meta and with other social media, that they are much more strict on propaganda, and it's nothing to do with freedom of expression. This is poor propaganda of Kremlin. Again, you have our support, but we need to stay united in the so-called democratic world. If in the United States, between Democrats and Republicans are starting the campaign, should we continue with the support? If we start to be divided with Budapest and with Sofia and other countries, then we go to the very wrong direction, and the evil will have much more advantage. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's true. I always say that don't think about Ukraine in this context. Think about Bulgaria, because there is no future in Bulgaria with such kind of thoughts and propaganda that's poison the minds of people.
Only one sentence. This is why in the educational system we need to include our national sources, like the memories of Stefan Stambulov. I suggest to everybody to read Dnevnik, or the diary of Stefan Stambulov. This is very similar to now, the fear that the Russians will occupy the country after the coup d'etat against Battenberg, etc. That's very, very interesting.
Yes, also on May, when we showed our films from Ukraine, and we showed films about culture more, not about the war. And our purpose was to get acquainted people with the Ukrainian culture, and to see that through the culture we can make these bridges between two nations. And also Ukrainian, Bulgarian, we are this bridge, you know, for friendship of these two countries. And we want them to see how similar we are. And it's happened, you know, after the screening, people come and said, oh my God, I didn't know that Ukraine has the same folklore and the same heroes, and wow, and your mountains is like our mountains, and you have the same traditional work with the sheep and the sirene, brynza. I don't know how to choose, how to translate it, and they were shocked, you know, and they were saying, oh my God, we didn't know anything about Ukraine. So I'm so happy to open Ukraine for Bulgarians, and actually I want people to know that Ukraine is not only the war and Chernobyl and Holodomor and other painful things. That I want them to know that Ukraine is a rich culture also, and that can make us closer to each other, because, you know, it's destroy all these myths about nationalists, you know, all this that usually Russian propaganda uses, because this is not true. They see that we are the same. We have to be, we want to be happy and to live our life, not more. The same as all Bulgarians, I think, and all people. Yes.
I'm Alexandra Jacquemin from the Association of Ukrainian Women in Belgium. И аз искам много благодаря ви за вашата работа.
О, благодаря вас също. Можем да минем на български, ако всички са съгласни, или има хора, които ни разбират?
Но моят български не е това добър, защото аз живея в България на 3 години.
Идеален. Браво. Okay, continue as it's comfortable for you.
Thank you. I wanted to answer to a question that I think that we shouldn't forgive, actually. I think the moment we forgive Russians, we will forget what they're doing to us. And I can't imagine what our mothers and people in Ukraine are feeling. As a mother myself, I can't imagine if someone will come and kill my daughter, or someone will come and kill my husband. I think that we shouldn't forgive them. Maybe once they fall apart in 1,000 years, once they are not there, and someone decides that they're good people, okay, but for now, I think we don't have time for that. And I think it's okay not to forgive.
Thank you, because I feel the same, but you know, sometimes these feelings are destroying ourselves from inside. That's why I ask you for advice how to win these feelings, you know, how to forgive. I'm not telling about the decision to forgive. Do you understand what I'm talking about? Because I agree with you that we shouldn't forget and forgive them till the, I don't know, because this is what they want us to do now. They want us to be blind, you know, and to say, okay, we forgive you and let's make a friendship after all this. It's impossible. Well, I will tell you what Ukrainian feels right now. We want them to not exist. But it's impossible. I understand that this is impossible. Just dream, you know. We cannot kill all 150 million people, you know. But they're opposant of Russian propaganda more than even other people in other countries. But we understand that if they exist, we will not have peace anymore in such kind as they are. So I don't know what's the decision. I don't know what's the decision of this peace, you know, how Europe is imagining this. I don't know.
Well, I'm a Ukrainian myself, so it's very hard to see the future with Russia in any context. Well, maybe one day, yes, but not for now. For other 100 years, I hope Europe finds the way to find another alternative energy, not to depend on gas, and that we will be able to build something else now. And when I feel down, when my uncle was killed by Russians in Kharkiv, I joined the Association of Ukrainian Women in Belgium because all I can do is to fight them on the cultural front. And
Thank you for it.
the army.
Thank you. It's a big support and instrument. Thank you.
unfortunately will need to
Yeah.
leave the room. Me, myself, I had so many questions. But thank you very much on my part, and I think on behalf of everyone. Because you asked how to fight the lies and propaganda. There is only one way, by speaking the truth. And I must say you are one of the very, very few voices we've heard in Bulgaria telling the truth about Ukrainian Bulgarians, but also about Ukraine and its ethnic minorities. Generally, we've heard thousands and thousands of lies, and I must say that one single voice telling the truth, but the way you do it, so sincerely, so emotionally, did a lot, really a lot. So we just need to go on.
Really, sometimes I feel myself that it's all I do. It's like for nothing. That nobody changed their mind after because a lot of trolls that I see comments cursing me and everything. And
that's why they do it to discourage people like you. But there was a tremendous effect. I must assure you, really, really, very, very significant. I mean, not for particular people or separate groups, but for the public opinion. There was an effect, and it was only one voice, and it was almost only once. So don't be discouraged, please.
thank you, and thank you for support and for this place you gave me to talk. Thank you.